Subscribe to Metal Detecting News to find out what's going on in the hobby.
It all started with a few friends. Weekends out detecting in the field, a barbecue, a few beers. Laughter and meeting new and old friends. Moments that make this hobby so special. We wanted a better way to record our finds, save memories, track discoveries, and keep everything in one place. Snap a photo, save your finds, create a finds library. Visit stopwishingodigging.com.
If you love metal detecting, you'll love Treasure Hunting magazine. Each month, we bring you a brilliant mix of real-life stories, expert tips, amazing finds, and all the inspiration you need to get out and enjoy the hobby. Written by detectorists, it's packed with useful info to help you read the land, improve your finds, and figure out what you've discovered. Whether you're just starting out in the hobby or you've been detecting for years, there's something for everyone. To subscribe to the UK's favourite metal detecting magazine, visit treasurehunting.co.uk today.
It's Thursday, it's 8 o'clock, and it's the Big Detecting Show. Good evening, everybody. Good evening, Adrian. How the devil are you?
I'm very good, thank you, David. And you? I'm all good.
I'm okay. You sounded a bit quiet then. No. I can hear you. You just sound quiet. Let me just fiddle with your mic a moment.
Sorry, I've had technical issues tonight, thanks to Apple. But yeah, I'm here, and I don't know what's going on. Anyway, tonight we got a really good guest on.
Right, that's better. You were on automatic volume, and you're now on what I've just put it on. Is everybody here,
Okay.
Adrian, okay now?
Yes, someone said my audio's odd.
We're okay now.
Yeah.
Sorry, how are you?
Yeah, very good, thank you. Yeah, busy week. The sun's out, so it's going to dry our fields down south even more.
I got confused then. When you said the sun's out, I thought you meant retard, but you would have called him that.
No, he's currently sitting in the back garden with his mate drinking a keg of beer.
Right. Is Adrian too loud
better
or
now.
just right?
Am I better?
No. You're always odd, apparently.
Oh, no, I'm odd.
So the sun's out.
You need to be odd to be even. But anyway, it's warm down south, really warm. The fields are obviously it's an awful time of year for detecting. It's crops, and it'd be interesting talking to Marcus about how sales are going, because we're going to be talking about these two tonight.
Yes, we are.
And
I'm glad you're here, because you'll be able to talk about it, and I can be like Homer Simpson and slip into a bush.
I don't think you will, because I think you've always struggled with XP machines, Dave, like as in the interface, a bit like routers, but these are different, and we'll bring that up on the show tonight.
Right, yeah. Well, there's lots of news out and about, but we don't necessarily do the news per se currently. We leave that to the fantastic Mr. TC. He deals with metal detecting news. As you know, they sponsor our audio version of the Big Detecting Show, which is all up to date. And I'll just leave that there, shall I, Adrian?
Yep. Things are happening in the background, so we're going to be looking at things. Hello to everyone in the chat.
Lots of things are happening in the background, because it's our 300th episode. It's episode 296 tonight. So when it's episode 300, you will see and feel and hear and be privy to many changes.
Yeah, and prizes. We're going to be giving away a lot of prizes. 300 episodes on YouTube. Oh my God! I look back and think I think my kids were still going to school in the original episodes, and now they've got houses and kids. No, they haven't got kids yet. Yeah, got jobs. That's what I meant to say. But yeah,
yes, we do have lots of prizes coming. With lots of nice people have come together as ever and offered us prizes for our 300 episodes.
And just to say, the prizes, yes, thank you, big thank you. The prizes will only be available to live people watching the show. So we won't have a website, our website, bigdetectingshow.com, won't have an entry form. It'll be through the live show. We'll be giving away prizes. So that's in
and we haven't even got something like that. We haven't even actually got a because we are professional. We always have a schedule for the show. We haven't actually got anything written out yet, have we?
No, the producers and the marketing team are working on that as we speak. They're back at our head office in London.
And we're ignoring
No, we haven't got anything. Yeah. Anyway, it's like I said, it's a weird time of the year. It's not the detecting season, but we've had a few new machines available. We've had the Vanquish range. We've had the Legend 2, which I did a field test in Treasure Hunting magazine this month. Interesting machine, very interesting machine. And then we've got the XP ICON range, which came out 2 weeks ago. And we'll be talking about that.
To have Marcus from Regton's coming on very shortly to talk all about that. Andrew T, it's not so much open to people in Canada, please get it right, if you pay for postage. It's open to you in Canada because we know that we'll see you and we'll give it you.
Yeah. Hi, James. Are you well? Yes, sweaty, salty back. Yeah, it's down south. It's ridiculous at the moment. It's too hot to detect. The fields are like, we're not in summer yet, and the fields are like summer. They're dry. It's not good. But
the thing is, Jason Hill, the Dark Knight Detectorist, some people, unlike you and I, won't realise what it's like to work in certain conditions like it is at the moment. Other people who sit in the pants all day may not understand how we feel.
Dave, is it me or are you buffering a bit? Can people put in the chat?
People in the chat, are either of us buffering? I'm actually, I'm having, going back to...
just happened then.
I'm leaving BT next week. So next Thursday, I'll be with another company. And the reason I'm leaving BT is because the other company is £50 less. What's it say?
Dave's buffering. You're buffering.
I do apologise. Yeah. Don't know why that is.
Yeah.
Well, therefore, we will bring on tonight's guest so Adrian can speak to him and hopefully he won't be buffering. It's that ever so lovely, ever so delightful, ever so wonderful, Mr. Marcus from Regton's. How are you, Marcus?
Good evening, both of you. And yes, Dave, you are buffering.
I'm well, there we go.
Am I? I thought you had a big red and white flag behind you then, but it's obviously just blurred out something instead.
I'm at home this time. Normally when I do this, I'd be at work, but tonight I'm doing it from home.
So the young Regton children, not Regton children, but the Ingram children aren't decorating a house in England paraphernalia.
No, not as such. We were watching a match last night, of course, out in the pub, but Seb's out on holiday. He's down actually south of sweaty Devon, I think somebody said. He's actually in Cornwall, so he's been out beach detecting. He's got an icon with him. So he's been having a go on the beach this week. And next week, I think he's up in Wales on holiday, going to 2 different places for a holiday in the UK.
Has he taken the Icon and the ICONX? Or
ICONX he's taken with him.
Yeah.
Just the ICONX. We know what the differences between the 2 machines and where they're going to fit. But obviously there's more on the ICONX, so there's more to learn about, more to play. Even though it's a very easy machine, it's just getting familiarity. I mean, I've only had an hour with it, and that was 2 weekends ago when the Alan and Andy were rather lucky with their talks, because I was on the way on my holiday up to Scotland, and I headed over to them en route to Scotland, stopped off at the rally that they were at for an hour, and then carried on my journey.
So before we go on, XP historically have had a landscape screen. They've gone to portrait. So this is the Icon. So this is the lower end model, and then we got so this is like your Deus. Ignore the technicalities, performance, and this is like your Deus 2. So it's in a rubber case, and there's a lot more options and features on it. So they're both the same. They both clip on to this newly improved shaft. This is one of the connectors. This is one of the best things they've done. This now, it clicks on.
That connector has actually been out for over 3 months on machines.
Yes, maybe and you can upgrade it, can't you? But
yeah,
more importantly, this bit here, the old fiddly clip-on with your dais that used to be a nightmare. Now it just slides on.
What's
so
that?
I haven't got it here. Yeah, charging point for the coil. It just slides on. It's absolutely gorgeous.
It was a follow-on from when they did the HF2 coils, where you the battery connector onto the top of the battery. That's the way they followed that on, which they'll do on all the coils going forward, I would assume.
Yeah. And one thing I will show, which I showed before the show. So this is light. So you can put this in your pocket, or the other one. If the screen looks funny, it's because I've got a plastic strip on to protect it, because I have to send it back. So that clips on there. But one thing I will show you, this is so lightweight as a metal detector. So you can put this on your wrist or your arm or in your pocket and listen to the tones. But one thing I will show you, which has absolutely blown me away with XP, I need to get one back here. So this metal detector is balanced on a matchstick. That is how light. It's not even a matchstick. It's a cocktail stick.
It's a cocktail
which is
stick.
thinner.
A matchstick is a totally different.
That is how light it is. And when I haven't tried it with that. It probably would hold that as well. It is phenomenally light. Oh, my screen's gone funny. It is so light. I forget it's in my arm. They've done an amazing job, XP. Really, really have. And we could talk about the interface as well, which Marcus, do you want to explain on basically the standard icon? Do you want to explain about that, how simple it is?
The icon itself is aimed really at, it's a replacement for, we have to go back in time a little bit. So XP, for those that didn't know or haven't been around for a while, they used to have a wide range of machines, the ADX 100, 150, 200, 250, Adventis, GMAX, and the famous Goldmax Power, the hammered Hoover. But they did away from their wired machines, and they didn't have anything right at the beginning. They had the RX, which was a simplified version of the DES machine, which they ran with and still run with now. But they didn't really have a starter machine like the ADX 150 and the 200, 250, etc. And that's where the Icon really comes in. It's their starter intermediate machine that anyone can pick up. It's ridiculously light. It's ridiculously simple to use. The presets, just away you go, basically. The ICONX is aimed at, again, you could say beginners, because it is that simple, but really it's aimed at more of an intermediate machine. But it then brings in the DS2 ecosystem, which is what they've really been looking at bringing together. So if you have an Icon or an ICONX, you can make it into a DS2. If you want to, you can just buy a DS2 remote, stick it on. Your headphones that you have with your Icon or your ICONX will work with a DS2 remote. And you've now got a DS, and vice versa. There are people out there who have bought the two machines since they've come out, and they've already got a DS2. And they have gone for the machine to try and see whether the ICONX is as deep or deeper than the DS, the original one. And again, with the coil, to see how the coil will perform on their DS2. It really is that interchangeable. So the only thing that won't work on an Icon in the DS2 ecosystem is the Extreme Hunter. That's really just set for the DS2. There's obviously a fundamental difference in price because there's a few less features on there. Sorry, you can say
so
something?
the price. So if I was to buy an Icon full setup coil shaft, how much is that at the moment from Regton?
If you want it just with the remote control, £435. That's an Icon with a remote control. If you want it with WSA ST headphones, it is $519. If you want to buy an ICONX with a remote control, it's $519. If you want to buy it with WSA ST headphones, the backphone type, then that is $599. But let's say you don't like the backphones. Some people don't. And you wanted to wear the XL headphones. Well, an example for that would be, because it's what I can remember, so ICONX with remote and WSA XL ST headphones, I think is $696.
That's still good money for a metal. I know we're not talking DS2 performance, but what I have found, it is a very enjoyable machine to just turn on and detect, especially the ICONX, and I especially like the horizontal navigation. I'll just boot it up. And it boots up quite quick as well. There you go. And it's going to find my coil. And you got the programs here. Program 1. And this is where it's limited.
Yes.
Whereas the ICONX, you've got more.
That's correct. But they're the basic programs you need as a beginner of, beach, field detecting.
The problem I felt is it didn't feel like a beginner's metal detector. It actually felt like, and it performs, I think, better than a beginner's metal detector, the Icon.
It does, but it's their beginner's machine. And XP, you could say, is a premium beginner's machine at the end of the day.
James Barnes, question. Thanks, James. Does the ICONX have the new stereo features?
Yeah, so both the Icon and the ICONX will work. I might have to look at my notes on this one, but they will work in 2, 3, 5, full tones and pitch. When you come into the audio, the Icon works in PWM, then into, is it low square or high square? Square with morphing in number 2, and number 3 is back to PWM with morphing. So you have morphing available. You don't have the controls that you have on the DS2. It's meant to be an intermediate simple machine. If anyone's gone into the stereo and into the expert side of the morphing on the DS2, it can get quite complicated very, very quickly because there are so many parameters that you can come up with, which is why they limited it to the 4 options on the DS2 to get you to as an idea of what it is. They know that a beginner and an intermediate user is not going to do that. So they just give you the basics as a preset. So to answer your question, yes, does it have it? Yes, it does, but you don't have control over it. It is what it is.
But it's probably going to be quite good.
Marcus just said lots of words.
James Barnes, no, not James Barnes. John Clayton, hi John. Are they waterproof? I think he's talking about the detector or the headphones.
Waterproof to 5 meters.
Yeah. I chucked mine in the sea for half an hour.
Well, it was a challenge.
What?
I said it's not a challenge, but it was a challenge.
When I got the ICONX, first day out, I went beach detecting, and I was quite impressed with both the Icon and the ICONX. To be fair, like Marcus said, you literally just turn it on and detect. And
so for people like me, you've got two control boxes there, the Icon and the ICONX, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
So you can just turn one
basic
off. You'll turn it on and it'll link via Bluetooth to the coil.
Already done. It comes out of the box with the remote is already paired. But if you buy it with the WSAST headphones, they're already paired. You just turn it on.
So where Adrian's got the two control boxes, he can play with the Icon and then turn it off, and then turn the ICONX on.
And if he had a DARES 2 remote, he could pair up a DARES 2 remote to the coil and the headphones.
Which I've done, yeah. It's quite bizarre. I'm doing a field test on both at the moment, and it's so cool because rather than take two machines out, I've just got one. So I've literally got that.
Sounds like something. It sounds like Hogwarts stuff to me. That's fantastic. To be fair,
it is fantastic, and I think XP have come out with something, and I still think this is sexy. This rubberized, the ICONX. It's not as powerful as the DARES 2. It's not got as many features.
We talk about innovation a lot on this show, and to me, that having the three different control boxes, three different machines, if you will, that is itself completely innovative.
One other thing I would say, this coil is very light. Very light. But it's also redesigned. I don't know the technical implications in it, but I think it's... Go on. Come on, Marcus.
The reason for the shape of the arms is to reduce the knocks. When you knock a coil against an object, you can often get a false signal. What XP have found that having those struts facing forwards helps reduce that. Simple as that. So those struts facing forwards help reduce the shock on the coil, and therefore they have found that it reduces the false signaling that you get with any coil. And if you look at any machine, if you've expected, it always varies, because if you've got sensitivity too high, any coil will shock. Any coil will give you a false signal because you get that against it, and the machine is not sure.
Well, it makes sense, doesn't it? Bit of stubble hits you there, rather than going like that, it will go like that. It will slide down.
Correct. Therefore, it's in compression. You get less of a shock.
Do you know what? I love. It sounds very strange, but getting my hand around that shaft and the hand grip. I love it. I love it. I really. They've changed the colour a bit. They've gone for this sort of dark blue.
Midnight blue, I think they call it.
So they've gone for the midnight blue.
I like that colour.
Did you notice the coil's the same colour as well?
Yeah.
The coil is also that same colour.
You probably can't quite see it on there, but
no.
What I'm quite amazed about is I've been out for I've just noticed this today. I've been out for quite a few hours with this coil on beach, land, and pasture, and it's hardly scratched at all.
You need to get close to the ground.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Yeah, I'm probably about a foot on that bloke on YouTube. Yeah, but mind you, on the beach. But I did take it out on the beach, and I was really impressed with it on the beach. For like Marcus was saying, if you're a beginner or intermediate, just turn it on and go. I did have two other metal detectors with me. One of them caused a bit of interference, but I think it's renowned for that. But that was probably 6 foot away. But you can get around that. But yeah, it was really good. So Marcus, how's it gone with the XP ICON? Has there been a lot of interest? Have you done well on sales, or?
Yes,
because it's a quiet time of the year. It's a quiet time of the year.
It is a quiet time of year for us because, for like everybody, well, for most people, the crops are in. Land is harder to get on because the farmers don't want you on there. So traditionally, at this time of the year, metal detecting goes quiet for sales. We've been fortunate that this came at this particular time and has given everybody a boost in sales that sells XPs, which is good for everybody. It's the interest that we had beforehand was very high, both from the public and from the trade. We were very fortunate that we were able to supply all of the trade the quantities that they wanted on their first orders. Now,
wow, okay.
The only other time we've been able to do anything, well, we weren't able to do that on the DS2. That's different. We gave everybody very large quantities on the DS2 when that came out, but that was never enough. But that was because that's a top-end machine and is a completely different kettle of fish. Here, it's something that they haven't had in their range for some time, and a lot of people won't associate XP as a starter and an intermediate machine, and that's where the ICONX will do very well straight away. The Icon will develop into a steady seller, especially as we move into later summer, kids on holidays, presents, Christmas time. Then that will when it will really come into its own, I expect, on the Icon.
Sorry, it's a very valid point you've just raised there. People wouldn't expect XP to bring out a machine which was for a beginner mid-range, and it's like when the first Deus came out in 2013. I can remember looking at it thinking I'd love one of those. It was like me putting a poster of Sam Fox on my bedroom wall. You know, I'll never ever get to see her or touch one. And when the Deus originally came out, yeah. But I remember when the original Deus came out, it was revolutionary and it hit the hobby hard. Yes. And it wasn't a cheap machine, but it was very popular. But that was the high-end market. That was like your pro detectorists and who had a computer as well at home, and probably had broadband rather than dial-up. But for XP to come in with this sort of beginner mid-range machine, it's gonna make other manufacturers possibly change their pricing or look at how they target people. I love it. This hobby, the manufacturers are constantly fighting. I wish the car companies were like this in the UK.
We're very fortunate that Alan, although he does fight with the other car companies, as you put it, for looking at new models, he doesn't look at it in the same way. Every time he's brought out a machine, he's gone in a completely different direction to everybody else. He's very dynamic in that sense. I've just noticed a couple of questions, if I can answer from the messages. Blage has asked whether the ICONX, is it going to be better than a DS2? The answer is no, it's not meant to be. It's meant to sit below that, okay, around the level of the DS1, okay. Only time will tell where it fits in that from all the people out there using it. Bear in mind the machine's only been out for 2 weeks. We don't know exactly where it stands, but that's where it should sit. It should sit around at about the level of the D1, but below the D2. Somebody else asked, how many charging leads do you need? As it's a new device, then it's a USB-C connection, okay, for the headphones and for the remote control. The coil, as Adrian has mentioned earlier, that is the slide on. So technically you only need 2 leads.
But data.
Can Dave ask a question? Dave's got a question that intrigues me. So the coil, the M36, is it that's on it, Adrian?
28, Icon 28.
I was only 8. The M28, which is compatible with the Icon, the Deus 2, and the ICONX. Yeah.
Correct.
So,
and vice versa.
How does that, therefore, are the capabilities of the coil itself managed by the different units?
I thought you weren't technical, Dave, because that's a very technical question.
It varies. It varies. And
talking about Dave, right. This I will have to refer to my notes because it is okay. I'll see if I can do this from memory. Right. So if you're using an Icon or an ICONX, an Icon runs on 4, 14, and what is it? Go on, get my notes. 4, 14, and 28. 4 and 14. Okay. The ICONX runs on 4, 14, and 28 kilohertz.
Okay.
If you take your Icon coil and put it onto your DS2, okay.
Yeah.
Then get this right, Marcus. You'll be running from 9 to 32, I think it is, kilohertz. If you're taking a DS2 coil onto an Icon, if you take a DS2 coil, so the normal FMF black coils, the 9, the 11, and the 11/13, if you take that coil and put it onto an Icon, they will run at 9. If you leave it in multi-frequency mode, it'll be automatic up to 40. Exactly the same as the DS2. If you run it in mono, it'll run on 9, 18, and 32 on an Icon. And on an ICONX, it'll run 9, 18, 32, and 40. The same range because you've got your frequency shift. Okay, so run up to 45, it'll run below 9 as well. So virtually the same as a DS2. If you take your Icon coil and put it on your DS2, it'll run as a DS2 coil.
Up to what frequency?
Performance improve?
Up to 40 kilohertz.
Performance will improve, therefore, given the frequency shift between the lowest being the Icon and the highest being the DS2. The performance would increase the higher the unit you've got.
It's not to do with the frequency in that sense. That's to do with how the performance of a metal detector on the items that it's detecting. The performance comes from the controlling of that information. The DS2, there is so much more you can do on there. You don't have to. You can use it as a basic General 1 program, and away you go. But there are people that will want to try that new light 28 coil, Icon 28 coil, on their DS2. It's fine. You can do that. Absolutely no problem.
I have done. Yeah, it's
as I say, it's part of that. It's part of that ecosystem. That coil comes into the equation now. Same as the Icon control box comes in and the ICONX control box come in. You can use any of the headphones, any of the remotes, any of the coils apart from the Extreme.
James Barnes, what about HF2 on the Icon?
Right, I will look at the notes on this one. Okay, so on the
mastermind.
I know. Because it's only been out for 2 weeks, so I don't know this off by heart. And talking to people every day, sometimes you have to refer to things. Okay, so on the HF2, where are we? HF2, again, it'll run in, if you're leaving it in
frequency,
auto, if you're using it you're running it as an FMF coil, running it in auto, it'll handle it exactly the same on as on a DS2 on the Icon. It'll run on the same frequencies if you're running in auto. It's only when you go into the manual, the mono frequencies, where the restrictions come in. So your Icon will run, what is it, 10, 34, and 75. That's a bit I couldn't remember. So the Icon will run the HF2 coil at 10, 34, and 75. And the ICONX, you get that additional frequency at the top, which is 120. But if you're running is just straight FMF in auto, then it's exactly the same on an ICON, an ICONX, and a Deus 2. It handles it for you. You don't need to know. Simple.
No.
Fair play.
And I'll just butt in here because anyone who's just joined the show and looking at two idiots at the top and a man at the bottom who sounds like he's talking about stuff. Marcus, how many years have you been selling XP Deus machines?
Ooh, Deus.
Sorry, XP machines.
Okay. Nigel first contacted XP to we were notified about XP from a couple of customers in France, and Nigel made an approach to XP, and XP said they were too small to deal with any country apart from France, and I think at that time they were selling into Germany as well. And the owner, Alan, said, right, I'm not big enough for the UK or anywhere else at the moment. I'll contact you in the future. And that was about 3 years later. He made an approach to Regton. And I think we have been with them for 26 years, something like that, 25, 26 years.
So just to confirm, Marcus knows what he's talking about when it comes to XP machines. Even though I phoned him up the day I got my Icon and said, Marcus, I can't pair the headphones. They won't work. So I had the WSA STs that wouldn't pair. And he said, oh, what you doing? Right. And all that. And you've got to have the most recent software update, which is 4.2. 1.2, which brings me on to a personal question here. My WS6s. So I'm sorry, Dave. I'm taking over the show. Right?
No,
they're flat now. So I use an Apple Mac, right? And the XP lead I had was USB, so I used a USB hub. They started updating, and then it came up with an error. And I thought, oh, okay. So quit the app, signed out. Anyone who's had this issue, sign out of the XP updater, log back in, plug your headphones back in. It will do it again. It did. But I've got a dodgy USB hub thing, which XP don't recommend. However, if you've got a Mac, you don't have USB. You have USB-C. So it all went wrong. Anyway, these aren't blocked, but when I turn them on, it keeps saying update. I'm a bit technical, so I logged in with Linux terminal and read all the firmware updates, and it's basically stuck in update. So you, as a distributor, you have the reset software to reset these?
No, you've got it. So basically, you on your Apple, I don't have an Apple Mac. So on an Apple Mac, you only have a USB-C connection.
Yeah.
Correct?
Go on.
So you need a double-ended USB-C data cable.
Tried one. Done that.
He said double-ended.
And just keep on doing the update. If it's stuck, if any of the devices are stuck in update, normally if you run it about 3, 4, 5 times, it will eventually catch and finish. On the very rare occasion that it doesn't, we might need to see that device hit.
I logged into the firmware via Linux and read the code, and it said corrupted data update, and I've ChatGPT, and it said basically it needs a manufacturer reset.
No, there is no manufacturer reset. If you just run the updater again, okay.
I've done it a dozen times with two different leads.
In which case we need to see that with us, and we will update it. It will.
I haven't opened it up. Yeah.
First of all, Adrian, instead of using a chav computer, use a normal Windows operating system and try that.
That's it. That's the other thing. If you go to a Windows, I know because of
haven't got one. Won't have Microsoft in my house.
You have to find a friend who's got one. Because that's what we will do. We'll update it on a Windows PC.
I have got a PC somewhere. I'll try.
If not, send it to us. We'll update it. Get it back to you.
Yeah, like I said, I logged into the firmware via Linux, ran a report, and it said corruption in update. Terminal command can't respond, and it said it's locked. And I've let it power down, charged it up. That's the only thing. Talking of updates, have Icon brought any updates out? XP for the Icon?
Only.
Yes, I did.
The one that was released with 1.04. When we had a sample the week before, because that's when I was at the Carlisle rally. That's where we took it up. Seb and Aaron were out at the Carlisle rally with Lothian, which, as I said, was where those 3 talks were found. When we had it there, I think it was on 1.02 or 1.03 the week before. So since it's come out, no, there have been no updates.
Well, I haven't had any issues with it. The only thing I did struggle with was deleting custom programs, but I fathomed that out because the instructions are all online, like they are now. But that's the only thing that stumbled. Yeah. But the interface, so simple. So simple. Just going back to Blazadzinski. I did try to backdate it to a recent firmware. It's stuck on update. It will not recognize. It recognizes the connection to the headphones, but it won't let me back update or anything.
Gary Robertson, he loves the ICONX. He had a crack at it at Carlisle. He's super impressed. Congratulations on a fantastic event, Gary, and to obviously the finders of the talks.
It was. Oh my God, three, not one, not 2, but 3. Yeah,
I was messaging you and Donna, wasn't I, with the updates? There's another one.
I didn't know. Even though I was there, I didn't get to see them because I was only there for an hour, and they were out on the field, still obviously looking to see whether there was anything else. And of course, they had them with them. They weren't going to leave them anywhere. So unfortunately, I didn't get to see them myself. In fact, I didn't even get to see Gary, but he was.
I'm sure you've seen plenty in your time in the hobby, Marcus.
I think the most notable ones were actually at before Leisure Promotions. We had his father running rallies along the Ridgeway, and I remember a particular rally there where it was a valley with one tree right at the end of the valley, a bit like the one that was cut down on Hadrian's Wall, but nothing as dramatic as that. But there was just this one tree, and I think a hoard had been found on the valley on one of the hills behind on a previous event a couple of years before. And you looked at this tree and you went, you must go and detect by this tree. It's the only tree out there. It sits in this lovely U shape. Go and detect it. And one guy did. And he came back with 3.
Wow.
3 talks. And they weren't like that.
Is Marcus buffering you, Adrian?
Yeah, he's buffering.
They were actually
kids are on the Xbox.
We ran all the way.
Ooh, yep.
I can hear you at the moment. No, he's back.
You're just there.
He's back.
He's back.
Hopefully XP don't provide his broadband.
They were probably the most notable ones to see.
Yeah. No, definitely.
The kids are on the XP box upstairs.
So, Marcus, you got plenty of stock of the Icon and the ICONX. If I wanted to buy one tomorrow.
As Gary says, they're heading back up this weekend. Yeah, hopefully.
Didn't get that. Did you get that?
No, Marcus is breaking up something rotten at the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hello?
You're back again. You're back again.
Yeah. So stop.
Breaking up, Martin.
You're saying what Dark Knight is saying. What was found?
Sorry. What was that?
Dark Knight is saying what was found. It was 3 gold torques. 3
gold.
Dark Knight has asked what was found.
Oh, and sorry, going back to stock, you broke up. You got plenty of Icon and ICONX in stock.
Yeah, we're just about to run out of the ICONX. The stocks are low on there, but we've got a delivery turning up in about 2 weeks. I've got a couple of deliveries coming. I've got one delivery coming in tomorrow. There's no Icon on that. There's another delivery coming next week, and then the delivery after that, I think it's got more ICONX on.
So the people buying obviously you sell a lot of machines online at Regton's Metal Detectors website. People coming in who've bought the Icon and the ICONX, are they historically XP customers or are they from other brands? How are you seeing it?
I would say it is probably, what would I say? I would say it's probably a third of each. So it's a third XP users, it's a third other detector users, and it's a third people they're buying their first machine.
Wow.
It's actually quite an even
pretty
split,
much.
which is exactly what they wanted it to be. Not, as I say, the Icon sales are slower at the moment because the market for that is not now. The market for that comes in the next 6 months. And until those machines are out there and people see how simple and easy they are to use, then the community online who, when people ask what machine to buy, they're not going to be recommending that yet. That's not something that we're recommending. It's people out there who've got machines and recommending somebody, a new person coming to the hobby, what should they use? That isn't there yet. That will come with time once the machine is out there. It's a bit like morphing on the DS2. It's not the easiest thing to explain or show on a video, but if you're one-to-one with somebody, you can explain it really easily because they've got the headphones on and you can do the changes, and they will get it. And it's those people, as time goes on, will be showing other people how to use morphing or how it works and what you can do with it, and the greater understanding of the benefits of it in helping you. It's not making the machine deeper, it's making you dig signals that you wouldn't even stopped to go back and even detect. That's what morphing really does for you. And it makes you do things that you would have never done with any machine.
An improved audio performance, and I love it because we all hear this beep beep or or ooh, and when you have morphing, oh my god, it's like it's amazing.
It's like
I love it.
I was going to say where it's coming in, giving the benefit. Your standard audio you're hearing in that one ear. What the morphing is giving you is it's making you go back and look at a signal, as I said, that you would not normally have gone back and gone, oh, what was that? You wouldn't have done that with any machine. It's giving you such a different signal that you would have thought it was just the background noise from your detector on the land. It makes you go back and detect things that you wouldn't even thought of going to stop and have a look at.
The way I'd sum it up and what I found from using it is you go over a target, you think, oh, that's interesting. And then you walk around it. It's almost doing the walk around without you, if that makes sense. So you get a target, you think, oh, that's interesting. Or maybe not. Is that a bit of iron, bit of trash? And it sort of, it gives you, the first day out, I went out with it. I found a King James hammered, bent, buckled, twisted, and it was about 6 inches down. But that field I went on, I've been on loads, and my mate was with me, and he swung over it with another metal detector. I won't say what it was, and it didn't pick it up. And the morphing, it said there's more here. And
it's such an audio prompt It's a different audio product than what we have.
It's a bit like It's a bit like crossing a zebra crossing. You go there, you stand there, you wait. If you don't see the cars, I love it. And for me, the tones I've got set up sound like Donkey Kong. Do you remember the game Donkey Kong?
I do.
Yeah, mine sound like that. So I feel I'm in an arcade game when I'm detecting with that. I love it.
And that's where you've gone into, and that's where you've gone into the expert side of things, where there is so much that you can play with. Yeah. And what XP realized with this, because there is so much that you can play with, they can only give you on the Dares 2 those 4, and on the Icon they give you, depending on whether you're in audio 1, 2, or 3, etc., or 5, 6, 7, 8, where you've got a higher audio response, so fainter signals sound a little bit louder on the ICONX. The morphing side, when you start to play with it with the Dares 2, you can customize it exactly like you said, how you really like it. And there is so much there that you can do even before you go and play with the pitch, the tone, as you would on the normal settings, or then go, and even after you've done the morphing, you can go and play with your graphic equalizer.
Oh yeah, I love that. I grew up in the 80s, 70s, 80s, so we all know what a graphic equalizer does. Oh, but it's
I was just lining up the tunes, and I thought you were going to go somewhere with that.
No, I could have mentioned cars, but I won't mention cars. But yeah, the Dares 2, and if you're new to the hobby, or you don't get scared by all this technical talk, because you don't have to do all this. It's a bit like if you get a new television. No, if you get a new television, you turn it on and press the calibrate button, it does it. But if you want to tweak things for movies or sport or whatever, you can do it with the Dares 2. To more than a television, I'd say. But yeah, I love playing with the equalizer. And one thing I will say, I wrote an article in Treasure Hunting magazine a few months ago about hearing loss. So as soon as you hit 50, your hearing naturally declines on high tones. This is the important thing, not on low tones. So your iron and stuff like that, you dig it all day. On low tones, your hearing naturally depreciates as you get older. And this is a prime example of creating a custom program. And so much so that I had someone email me, Jim, if you're in the chat, he actually found out that he needed hearing aids after what I said in the article, because you can do an online hearing test if you've got ear headphones and do it. And a lot of people might blame their machine, but at the end of the day, it's only as good as what your ears hear. And if your ears aren't quite right, the Dares 2, going the graphic equalizer, custom programs, custom tones, especially the tones, I definitely agree. And I've got mine set up perfectly. I'm happy.
There's another reason why XP went down the audio route as the prime, prime response, and that is the human body, the ear responds quicker than the eye. So your response through your ears is quicker and more, you react to it quicker, effectively. So the audio response is your first port of call. That's why they went down the audio route rather than a meter-driven machine. So if you go back to the Goldmax Power, there was no meter. Meters were added because, one, people wanted them, and two, they needed to have something because they'd added more features and you needed something to actually work with.
Just a quick question from Kendo Mac. Do they have vibration?
No. A vibration on any machine, just like on a pinpointer, and it's the same on metal detectors as well, is an eccentric vibromotor. So if you imagine an off-center weight on the end of a spindle, when it spins, it moves, and that gives you a vibration. No, there is no vibration in the any of the XP machines, only in the pinpointer.
No, yeah. Which is wireless.
which is wireless. But people sometimes think that the vibration in the handle is good for deaf people. Okay, not necessarily. I've been doing this for so long that when people have a disability, etc., there is no black and white answer. The only answer is for that person to get hold of a range of metal detectors and devices and find what suits them. In the same way you said about Donkey Kong on the audio for you, it suits you. What suits you doesn't suit everybody else.
100%. Yeah.
There's no black and white. Vibration in the handle, yes, it alerts you to go and look at something, but it's not audio. The audio gives you far more precision on what that could be than something which is just vibrating. It's just the motor that's vibrating. It's not telling you anything. It's just vibrating. Say, look, something here you might want to look at the meter, listen to, etc.
I can vouch for that because I got a 4-page letter complaint to Treasure Hunting magazine from a deaf person. I won't say what machine it was I reviewed, but I think I said could help someone who's hard of hearing or deaf, the vibration, and they wrote me a letter 4 pages long why it didn't help them, and they proper had a go at me. But I thought it could have helped them, but Marcus is right. It's different people. We're all different. I've
dealt with customers who are blind, deaf, partially deaf, no arms detecting. Okay, that was an interesting one. And he left the car park in a BMW 635 CSI and power slid it out of the car park just with his foot, which was very impressive to see. And he said he was just going to make it normally. He was just going to have a sling made that he could hold the detector, and he would swing the detector with his big toe, the stem in between his big toe and his next toe, and detect, and then hop forwards and detect again. That was his way he was going to detect, and he did.
That's like me opening up a gym. It's like impossible. Oh my God, that's amazing. That is. One thing I will mention just quickly, if you've got MI's pinpointer, it syncs to the icon perfectly. And I don't know if it's me, but I felt the audio was better through the pinpointer than the normal DS2.
It's louder. It is louder.
Yeah.
I noticed it's louder when I was having a play with one.
Yeah. It sounded really, really good.
As you've spoken about multiple times, Adrian, regarding the XP background in audio, then it's not any surprise that the audio is so good on it.
Exactly.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, but again, you might prefer Minelab tones, Nocta tones, Garrett tones, C-scope tones. It's your preference.
But if you go through the PWM, the high square, the low square, as you have on them now, you can make. There's so much you can do on the audio of a DS2 that if you like the sound of another particular metal detector, you can mimic that sound without losing what you're familiar with in one brand to those sounds, those tones. All you've got to do is set it up. That takes a little bit of time, of course, and a little bit of playing about, but you can do that and you can make it sound like another manufacturer's machine if that's the audio you like. It doesn't take away from what else is going on within that metal detector as to how it works on finding small items and recovery speed.
Sorry, going back to the guy with no arms, Dave Moore's put in the chat, how did he dig his holes?
Good question.
He never found anything. I was hoping you were going to say he came back because he found stuff, but he couldn't dig it up.
No, I would. because he had the sling around his neck, it wouldn't surprise me if he had a sling around his neck for the spade as well. As I said, if you could drive a BMW like that out of the car park with one foot on it's incredible.
He might have had a mouthpiece.
No, he was just flip-flops. He just flipped a flip. Sorry?
Do you remember it Detectable? I think it was 2019. There was a guy who'd converted his Deus, and instead of having a stick, he had a stick.
Yeah. It just goes
over the years, I was on the disability side of things. There was a couple that came to a rally many years ago, and some people may remember this couple. And they had 2 guide dogs, which the guide dogs weren't your normal guide dogs. They just had a different bell on each dog, and they asked to be the rally was set up in a kind of a square area, like a lot of rallies are, and they just asked to be. They were driven to the rally, of course, but they were asked when they were there. They were asked just to be shown around once, and they were walked around the detecting area where the dealers were and shown where the entrance to the events were. And they said, thank you. And that's it. They went off on their own. And they just say to the dogs, I want to go to the marquee. And the dogs would walk off in that direction and they would follow them. I want to go to detecting. And they'd walk off in a different direction. And a lot of people were questioning, how are they doing this? We dealt with them for years. Husbands have actually passed away now. The lady, she's still alive. We get gifts from her every Christmas for Nigel's dogs.
That's nice.
But yeah, an amazing couple. When they first came to us, they got a train to Birmingham and got a taxi to us and then walked back to the train station on their own without any guide. Then they never got a taxi to us. They got a train to Birmingham and walked to us. Incredible couple. That was. It shocked everybody how they could walk straight to places, yet neither of them could sit. Absolutely amazing.
I think the disabled detectorist, Dave, he hasn't been on the show for a while.
His name is actually Disabled Detectorist, isn't it?
He's in a wheelchair, and his partner, carer, or wife goes out with him. But I think.
Does he detect from the chair, or does? Because I've had people that have detected from the chair, and I've also had people that put a mat down, get onto the mat, detect around the mat, then put another mat forwards and move across the land that way. So detect.
That's a good idea.
That's a good idea for lazy people like me as well.
It's different for everybody. What suits one person does not suit the next. And you, like I said, people were amazed about what they were able to do. When people have disabilities, it's amazing how they overcome everything. It really is.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. So we're coming towards the end of the show, not far away. Has anyone got any questions for Marcus about the XP ICON machine or the ICONX? And I'll tell you what, the ICONX, I think the Deus 3 would look more like that. That screen layout and navigation is the way to go. So I'm very excited. As we're talking now, they're probably working on the Deus 3 because it's been out.
Manufacturers are always working on new equipment. Whether that equipment actually comes to fruition and to the market is whatever. However, there's a difference between that particular remote and the Deus 2 and the Deus 1. If you turn it back on again, you'll see it's a fixed LCD. It lights up everything on the LCD. There you go, that bit. That's set. That can't be changed. Whereas on the DES and the DES 2, it's more like an iPad. What you see on the display, they can change anything on it. Whereas these devices, they're a set LCD. Like many manufacturers out there, the LCD is set. They can't change what's on there.
There's your headphone connection.
It's your pinpointer. The display.
Oh, so the MI6 pinpointer connects as well.
Yeah, that's what we were saying.
It's all in that
it connected really well, actually. Do like the MI6. I reckon they're going to bring out a new pinpointer soon. Which, interestingly enough,
why? Why do you think that?
Because the colour doesn't match the current DES right now. It's a funny reddy colour. I don't know. I just feel
it's actually
the connection.
I was going to say
this mini. Sorry, go on. Go.
I was going to say the remote is in its second generation. Sorry, not the remote. The pinpointer probe is in its second generation. They changed the shape of the outer casing and they changed the color and the finish of the outer casing, which is good for us because it denoted certain things that could and couldn't be done with the earlier ones, but could be done with the later ones. But you don't need any more features. A pinpoint
just
probe is
charging.
If they brought out a new pinpointer, yes, the charging would change to a USB-C if it's an onboard charging system. Yes, because all devices going forwards have to be USB-C in that sense. Would they do a slide on like they do on the coil? No, there's no point, no sense in doing that at all. Connectivity. There have been like any wireless device, whether it's headphones or Bluetooth, etc. You sometimes get a connectivity issue.
I'll be honest, the MI pinpointers got a lot of features in them, but that's only good if you know, hold it down 3 seconds, 5 seconds, press 3 times and all that. The one thing I would say, the Nocta AcuPoint gives you a visual screen, and I must admit, it is very good. And I'd say it's the best interface.
Because there's more on the menu. And like I said, XP moved from the Goldmax Power to the DES, and you had to have a screen because there's more to play with. You need a screen on something like that. If James Barnes is asking, does it have an iron tone? I cannot see the point of an iron tone on a pinpointer. Your metal detector has your discrimination. You have discriminated. You know whether there is iron there with the DES because you'll have that low tone. You've got your high tone. You're digging the item. You're looking for an item, regardless. So you're going to concentrate and dig that item out. You don't need to know that's a little piece of iron in the hole. How many times have you found that little piece of iron in the hole?
The AcuPoint from Nocta has got the iron tone. Even though it gives me an iron tone, I still dig it up because there could be a hammered coin between that horseshoe. So, like Marcus said, it's actually pointless because it could be 12 inches down, right? A lot of metal detectors get confused with iron. So 12 inches down, you're getting a good target. You dig down and you get that lovely orange crust. And you think, oh, it's a horseshoe. You don't fill it back in. You keep digging. And I have had, not with a pinpointer, on multiple issues, there's been a hammered coin or a crotal bell, or there's been something there in the end. Yeah. So multi-frequency machines. Yeah. So yeah, I think if you're a plumber and you're drilling holes in a wall, it might be handy. But yeah, it's not on the point. But yeah, it would be nice to have an interface on the MI pinpointers because I've got multiple people I know who've got them, and they turn it on, hold it down too long, and next thing you know, they've turned off vibration. They're in the wrong tone, and sensitivity's at 1, and they moan about it, and I'm just like, oh, here you go. It's like, and once you do it,
if you take the original kind of the decreasing tone pinpointers, the Garrett Carrot, you turn it on, you found the item, you dug it out, you filled the hole in, you're on to the next, you're on detecting again. I'm not bothered about whether it is iron or not. I'm digging it out because I want to look at it, because the only looking at it is the only way you're going to tell what it is.
Could be a sword.
Having to go into another mode to do this, personally, I've never seen the benefit of it.
No, but it would be nice to visually see your sensitivity. A frequency shift is quite a good one on the Nocta AccuPoint. On that note, we've got Nocta who've got a wireless pinpointer. We've got XP who've got a wireless pinpointer. We've got Garrett who've got a wireless pinpointer. But Minelab haven't yet brought one out, which I'm really, really confused about. And I don't know why they haven't done it. They've got the leading metal.
I don't know why either. You'd think it would be logical to do with them. However, is it to do with the Bluetooth way of doing it? If you look at Garrett have a wireless pinpointer as well, but it's wireless. XP's is wireless. It's their own protocol, but it's wireless. Nocta, how is theirs done? Is it wireless or is it Bluetooth?
Never know.
Not exactly sure, because it works on machines that are wireless and Bluetooth for audio. So I don't know whether that question's ever been answered.
I think it's Bluetooth. The Nocta one. Low latency, but it just bizarrely, you got the Manticore, which is a very good, very expensive metal detector, and yet you haven't got a wireless pinpointer. I don't know. Just weird.
You might have hit the nail on the head with regards to the low latency and the APT and the various other types of Bluetooth. And because there's a wide range of those, if they're going to use that, it's got to work with all of them. Which brings me back to the Nocta. I don't know. The Nocta I would have thought would be wireless in that case.
I'm sure. I think it's Bluetooth. I'm sure it's on the Legend 2.
Like any manufacturer, if they change to another Bluetooth type of headphone that has come out, etc., as they do from time to time, will it work with all of those? Don't know.
And it will. It's getting the signal back as well, low latency. But Minelab, if you're watching, I very much doubt it. Even though I did talk to the guy, I've forgotten his name, who developed the Manticore. Aaron or Kieran. I said, when are you bringing out a wireless pinpointer? And that was 3 years ago. And he went, yeah, we're looking at it. I was like, I just think if you're paying...
Manufacturers are looking at things all the time. And what they're trying to do is make sure that those things work with all of their equipment. And sometimes they don't come to the market. Simple as that. You know, if it doesn't work, don't put it out there. Manufacture. We can all look at models of products. Doesn't matter whether it's metal detector or anything else, where things have come to the market and they've disappeared very, very quickly because they didn't work. So
I could mention some things.
We can, but we're not going to.
No, we're not.
Before we I just want a couple of seconds to mention something before the end of the show. If you would be willing, ladies and gentlemen, could you, the bottom of the screen, the Potter's Pledge. Marcus will appreciate this. So the Potter's Pledge is backing British ceramics because due to energy crisis and other things, people who were in the Midlands will know that the Stoke-on-Trent, the potteries, has gone absolutely to the wall. And there's so many different organisations that are folded because they can't afford it, or there's stuff coming in from China, which they're that's better. Stuff coming in from China, which is cheap, nasty stuff, and not the proper potteries. If you could go on to www.potterspledge.uk and just sign the Potter's Pledge for us, I appreciate that. Sorry, I just wanted to get on there before the end of the show.
That's fine.
XP.
Wayne Rowlands. Oh, Marcus, will you be going to Rodney Cook No Frills this year?
We will be at a number of events this year. So we will be at the first Rodney Cook. We will have a small setup there. I think myself, Aaron, and Seb are going to be at that one. That's the 5th of September from memory. We are then, where are we then? I think prior to that, we'll be at the Big Dig down in south of London, which is iDetect, and Terry Reid are running that one.
iDetect?
iDetect. Not
Harry's
that guy.
back. Oh, not that.
No, I think it's not him. It's a different one.
And yeah, not him. And then we are at Lothian, their normal one up in Scotland. And we have recently added that we were going to Dutch's, one of Dutch's 4 rallies that they're running down in Cornwall.
We tried to get Dutchies on the show, actually, haven't we, Dave? Dutchie
lots of times. Mike
and Jeanette. Mick. Yeah.
Maybe they're scared of us. But
no, they should be.
But the thing is, they should be scared of us because, you know, we actually help people. And in some cases, we may be able to help people even more.
Yeah.
Okay. Is this to do with the 300th anniversary by any chance?
Yes, 300th anniversary.
Okay. Oh, something I'd like to add to that. We will donate a £300 voucher.
Oh, thank you very much. That's fantastic. Thank you.
So
I appreciate that, Marcus.
One of you get in touch with me about that. So we will put a voucher in for that.
300 quid. Oh my God! Thank you, Marcus.
How much would the
thank you, Regton.
Sorry.
How much would an icon be then?
£135.
A night down the pub. Oh my God! 300 quid. I'll tell you what. You're going to want to watch the show in a few weeks' time.
I reckon we could get Donna to match that.
No.
Okay. No.
So those who are listening on the podcast, if you're driving to work, listening to this in your car, which I know a few people do, try and watch the show live. I know many are shift workers, but 8 p.m. GMT Thursday night in a couple of weeks' time, or 2 or 3 weeks, 3 weeks, I think, we're going to be giving away a lot of prizes and a £300 gift voucher from Regton's Metal Detectors. Wow, that's
to celebrate your 300th episode. That doesn't mean I'm going to do it on the 500th and the 1000th.
I'm so glad.
Oh, damn!
I'm not that old.
I'll be dead by then. Yeah, thank you ever so much, Marcus and Regton. We love Regton Metal Detectors, and we love other distributors. However, they very rarely come on the show. Some do, some don't. We have
come on,
occasionally, but we've had Nocta on. Mind Lab, we'd love to have Mind Lab on. Garrett are very big and busy.
We'd love to have Nocta on, but it's very difficult to communicate at the moment. It seems
very, very difficult. XP, we wouldn't be able to understand them, but they've got their own stream podcasting now going on, which is really good. So yeah, great.
I'm sure Michael Eakers.
Oh God!
Go on, you can say it, Adrian. I'm a bit shocked.
Gary Robertson, the Lothian Club, will also donate £300 in cash. Send me account details. Well, we won't take that now, but thank you, Gary. That is absolutely fantastic of Lothian Club. Hats off to you guys. Fantastic. Oh, that's lovely. Jim Painting in Malden. I know Jim. He's a prize to add. He'll drop it round my house. He dropped round a silver bar the other day for Rodney Cook. I thought it was some sort of scam because there was an envelope with a silver bar in it, but it was from Jim for Rodney Cook raffles. Thank you, Jim. You're a lovely guy. I like Jim. I'm looking forward to seeing you again soon, Jim.
Don't be drinking wine with each other because it'll just get messy.
Oh no, we had a hilarious. You'd like this, Marcus. Me and Jim in the chat were at Rodney Cook a few years ago, and we're in the hotel, and we're sitting there, and there was two guys, and they said, "Are you at the Rodney Cook rally?" You went, "Yeah." He said, "Yeah." He said, "I've got to be careful. They might be watching." He said, "Yeah, I've had all the metal detectors. I'm probably the best field tester in the world." And I went, "Oh, right, okay. How long have you been detecting?" "Oh, about 3 or 4 years." I was like, "Okay." And he started going on about all the machines that.
What did he say?
He said that he was the best field tester in the world, or something like that. And I just laughed about it.
He may be rubbish at jokes, but Adrian joins the team as one of the most experienced field testers in the world.
Anyway,
it reminds me of the detectors when they're walking across the field.
Yeah, I think that's what they were trying to do with that. But at the end of the evening, he said to me, because it was all me, him, like talking. He said, "So you've been metal detecting long?" And I sort of pretty much said all my life. And he said, "Oh, yeah, you need to read in Treasure Hunting magazine." And I let rip then and let it all out. And oh my God, it was quite funny. I don't go on Facebook much, but in a social environment, I very much enjoyed talking him down. But anyway, we're near the end of the show. Marcus, Regton Metal Detectors. Whoa, thank you for coming on.
Totally enjoyed it. Not understood a lot, but I have learned a lot.
You did ask that really technical question. That's surprising.
You asked the most technical question of the show.
The one that you asked.
You know, I throw one in occasionally.
Yeah. Top there. Thanks, Marcus.
I myself have no problem coming on any time.
Yeah, cool.
So we'll do it from the shop. Some couldn't do it. I've got kids due home any moment. So,
yeah.
Well,
thank you.
Given the secret market, Marcus, I might come and even visit you.
Okay, not so far away.
Hopefully, my car won't break down this time. Anyway, Marcus, it's been an absolute pleasure. Don't forget to go
as always.
And you want from Regton.com, have a look at the new XP range and the old XP range for that matter. Thoroughly enjoyed ourselves tonight. Adrian hasn't got a clue what's going on currently. Have a great weekend if you are out detecting and about this weekend. Good luck for that. I know Shane is. And happy Father's Day for the coming week as well. Hope you all get a nice brand spanking new XP ICON or ICONX. Just, drop a few hints.
We've got a nice thing on our blog this weekend about Father's Day. So if anyone wants to have a look at that, there's some quite interesting little things on there on our blog.
Go for it.
Blog.
Get on there.
Brilliant.
Okay.
We will probably have a guest next week. We haven't got anything lined up at the moment because we had the week off last week and we booked Marcus in. So we will get some guests sorted because we do things like that. Nearly said something then. Good night, everybody. Thanks again, Marcus. Thanks, Adrian.
Yes,
Thanks,
Marcus.
everyone.
Take care, Dave. Bye.
Okay.